Motherhood and giving birth is a miracle, yet consider the parents who are desperate to have a child of their own but face the tragedy of infertility. What is their miracle? Surrogacy. Surrogacy is the agreement of a mother to carry the child of the intended parents. In their humble home, parents Bobby and Nikki Baines from the UK have two wonderful kids, a boy and a girl. Together they make a loving, happy family. However, this family would not exist if it weren't for the access to cheap overseas surrogacy. 4,758 miles away, around 30 women are staying in a cramped room, sleeping, breathing, and living there 24 hours a day. The women range in ages 18 to 35, but are all among the same ethnicity, Indian. Each one of them carries a child in their stomach, a child that has no blood relation to them and will be given to the intended parents immediately after it enters the world. These women's bellies are simply a shell of a womb for a child. Medical advances and globalization have led to a vast development of surrogacy in India. In 2002, commercial surrogacy was legalized in India to help promote medical tourism. As of 2012, at least half of surrogacy customers were from Western countries such as the United States or the United Kingdom. The industry of Indian commercial surrogacy has grown to over a shocking $2 billion. Over the last decade, the Indian government has struggled to regulate it as a business, a medical practice, and for the protection of surrogates. As the industry of commercialized surrogacy grows, so do the issues. Surrogate mothers are being taken advantage of as workers. Their rights and protections are atrociously minimal. It is vital that India takes action in helping regulate this commercialized practice. The idea of a woman giving birth to another woman's child has been noted in original Bible writings. Once known as both a legend and a nightmare, to this day it still raises questions of ethics and legality. Today, a number of states in the U.S. allow and provide the service, but at a price that is well beyond the price tag most families could afford. Depending on the medical service, it can range from $100,000 to $150,000. Desperate parents then turn to foreign surrogacy that is more affordable, such as India. India can provide good quality care at a fraction of the cost of the United States services. The real cost, though, lies upon the surrogate mother. Laws do not govern surrogacy in India, but is rather run commercially. Surrogate mothers have no counsel to help understand the agreement they make. They are blind to what procedures they will undergo, there is no insurance policy, they cannot even read the contract sometimes because it is written in a different language. Due to lack of regulation, surrogate mothers have little to no rights in the entire process. Social pressures also force women to not be greedy about negotiating. The final payment on the contract of the surrogacy process will often be left blank, leaving surrogate mothers uncertain of how much they will be paid. Clinics and owners have autonomy on the paycheck, which can then lead to large exploitation of labor. Despite the social stigma of being a surrogate mother, women still choose to be one because of its large financial incentive. For a woman who worked as a surrogate, being paid $3,000 could provide for an average family for 3 to 4 years in India. On average, surrogates can earn between $5,000 to $7,000 a year, much more than $300 an Indian woman would normally make a year. Some argue to ban surrogacy because human bodies should not be rented out, but for the amount of growth in this practice already present, this would be implausible. Banning surrogacy would only lead to the rising of underground and black markets for the practice, which only make it more dangerous for the workers. It is also important to consider the number of long-term benefits of the business. Commissioner parents benefit because they are able to cheaply acquire a baby they would have otherwise been unable to get. Clinics and owners benefit because they get to keep a majority of the profit. Agents benefit because they make money by finding surrogate candidates. Surrogates benefit if they are able to save the money properly and invest in their goals. Since surrogacy cannot be completely banned and has its long-term benefits, it's time to look at how it can be regulated to prevent further danger and insecurity to surrogate mothers. India can follow examples of other countries that have successfully prevented the practice from being commercialized. The U.S. regulates surrogacy at a state level, but every state that regulates it has succeeded in giving surrogate mothers protection and autonomy in the process, a choice that an Indian surrogate is stripped of. The difference between the laws surrounding surrogate women in the United States compared to India has to do with the background laws that uphold the status of women in the U.S. Women have access to education, can assert independence from her family, utilize legal resources, and are widely considered equal to men. On the other hand, India has much more gender inequality. Because of the large gap between societal views of the U.S. and India, it may be better to compare a system of regulation to a developing country such as South Africa. South Africa holds a much stronger leash on surrogacy and has been successful in preventing commercialized surrogacy by regulating it very strictly. The surrogate mother must abide by many more rules, such as entering surrogacy for non-commercial reasons. South African surrogates benefit from rules and regulations ensuring fair payment and legal rights. By following a structure similar to South Africa's, India can eliminate the commercialized practice of surrogacy. They could also implement similar policies that the states use to oversee the practice more tightly, thus preventing any more exploitation of the labor and service. Some may argue that regulating surrogacy in India would then raise the price of the process for commissioning parents, but that does not justify the lack of protection for the woman who must endure this potentially harmful process. Surrogacy is a globalized practice that cannot be ignored. Because of large medical advancements, it has made a powerful emergence across many countries in the world. India has the capability to transform into a forerunner example in regulating the business. It is up to the people and the policymakers to make a difference. Every day, women are being taken advantage of as workers and are deprived of their rights. Although ridding the social stigma of being a surrogate and fighting for women equality rights may take years to achieve, Indian government can take action now in drafting a stronger policy to help regulate the service. Surrogates deserve the dignity as workers, and the exploitation of the labor must come to an end.